But Strick, some breaking news out of the NBA, out of Boston. This report comes from Bobby Manning, who's with CLNS up in Boston. Kristaps Porzingis says he has plantar fasciitis, will not play in FIBA. Plantar fasciitis is a problem. That's tough to get over. And that's a big man with plantar fasciitis, which makes it doubly tough. Do you think we see Kristaps for the start of the NBA season with this news?
Okay. So I'm familiar with this. And when I tell you it is one of the most painful types of injuries to have, because there's really nothing you can do about it. Right. There's new treatments, because I actually had it. But when I tell you, you practice one day, and I did it actually dunking in the summer in the off season.
But Strick, layups are worth the same.
I know. I took off on one of them, and I planted real hard. As in Maryland, I planted on that back, and I felt it. And when you wake up, it's like you can't stand on it. You can't walk. If you don't stretch it, ice it, do something to it, your day is messed up. You can't plant, you can't cut, you can't do anything. So I ended up getting it was a treatment that was fresh and new back then. And when I tell you, it was the most painful 3 treatments that I've ever had in my life, because you had to go and they would feel the area, right? So they would put pressure. So that would be painful. They would hit the spot. He would put an X marks the spot on the area, right? And the design of it was to break up the tissue so that it can begin to heal, because it's in an area that it just not a lot of healing. Yes, the bottom of the foot. So it's an area. It's kind of like there's certain areas on your body where it's really tough to get blood and flow and stuff to it. So they had to break up the tissue in order to really allow it to heal. So nonetheless, it was like it was water that was run through this electrical charge. It looked like a little ball, and it would shoot a pinpoint deep into that tissue to break it up. And I bit my arm, and I tried to do everything I can. It was so freaking painful. So I think they probably have a treatment that can help to get him back in time, because I was able to come back. It was normal. It was a healing process. I had 3 of those treatments over a course of, I think, maybe a month. It was like once a week. And then nonetheless, that is something that would keep him out. And it's something that they would want to address pretty quickly. And I think there's enough time for that healing process and rehab process to take place. The rehab is not like a knee injury or stuff. It's really stretch. It's really rest. It's really ice. It's really loosening. It's massage. It's a lot of massaging just to kind of flatten that tissue back out. But yeah, I think he has an opportunity to get back in the game.
What's the time frame on that? A few weeks, a month?
Like I said, for me, it was a new treatment at the time, so they were still trying to figure it out. It was one like I couldn't even. It was initially in like Canada, you could get it, and the only place, and it just so happened I happened to be playing for the Indiana Pacers at that time, but really there was only a few places in the country, and it just one of them happened to be in Indiana. So it worked out to my favor that I happened to be in the same state that this treatment. It was like one hospital that only did it. So it was a new cutting edge treatment at the time, and I was fortunate.
Let's rip in the other Husker in the room. Megan, hop on the mic for a sec. Your track career, have you ever had an injury that's kept you out for any extended amount of time? You've been pretty fortunate to avoid it.
I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't really had any like major injuries. I think I had like a toe issue, but that was about it, and they kept me out of like one practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it like turf toe?
Kind of, yeah.
Something
it was
like
just
that?
like gnarly. It was just like it would like hurt to like put pressure on my feet.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm trying to read up here very quickly is that it's caused sometimes by just the type of shoe that you wear. So Megan, especially as like a runner, Strick, we've talked about shoe culture in the NBA, what it looks like, how it feels, but is that the same for track? Where is there a process of like finding the right shoe that's most comfortable?
Like I have high arches, so I need to be careful with what shoes I wear, because otherwise I'm gonna like. I used to have tendonitis.
Ooh.
And so my
in the knees.
No, in my feet.
In the feet.
Yep. So like my shoes were very important, and I know for other athletes it's the same as well. So I'd say like what you're putting on your feet is beneficial to how you're performing.
I think Megan makes a tremendous point in what she's just saying. I think it's one of the things that right now is one of the questions that we're having regarding Lonzo Ball and whether or not he gets back. I think a lot of it had to do with his shoes. I think this could also be an issue that we're having with Zion Williamson, blowing out shoes. I mean, that is one of the worst things you can do, blow out a shoe when you're that aggressive or you're on the attack or you're cutting and you blow out a shoe. Those things take a huge effect on the stress of the body because your body tries to lock itself to stop from whatever it was trying to do. Like, for example, if you land on somebody's foot in basketball on a rebound and it starts to turn, your body naturally tries to bring it back. And so those things I think can put tremendous stress when you don't have the right equipment on, the right types of shoes that are fit for you, because you're absolutely right. Some people have arches, some people have flat feet, no arches, and the shoe does matter as to what you're wearing. It could cause problems, and it starts to work up the body. It doesn't just stay in the feet. It can start to work into the knees.
Overcompensation.
Yes, overcompensation. Yeah.
How much of that process of finding the right shoe in the NBA and then for you in college right now is on you, and how much of it is working with like the equipment staff?
I've been very blessed. My coach is very communicative with our like staff of like providing shoes and whatnot. So he's kind of taken that step for me because I was a freshman and like I didn't know what I was doing, and that he noticed that I was having an issue, so he helped me out. But I'm not sure how it is in the pro league.
So in the pros, I mean, one of the things that we do is they'll have shoe reps that'll come in and they stay pretty close to us. Like, for example, Nico Harris, who is the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, we had lunch.
He was a Nike guy, right?
And he was a Nike guy. And one of the things he always shared with me is he had close relationships with the players that he was assigned to, and so he would know what was going on with their feet, what their measurements are. He knows the details about what they like, and he knew a lot about them and how to effectively make sure that he's relaying the message to them if there's any problems, any situations, if there's blowouts, so that they can start corrective work. And then he ended up working directly with Kobe, like where he was literally Kobe's shoe guy. And so he did share a lot of those details and how that works, because I know we would have guys come down, measure us, make sure certain areas of our foot, they would show hot spots and different things so that they can try to create us. And then we also had orthotics at times that we would wear that would just be specific to us, and we would have an orthopedic doctor that would send us recycles of those.
Who that you played with was the most particular about their shoes?
I'd probably say Mike Finley. Mike Finley, maybe Antoine Walker. Those guys were some pretty particulars about their shoes.
Same to you, Megan. Any teammates that are shoe divas, need it to be just right? Go through a million pairs before they find the right one?
I wouldn't say like that. I have like teammates that are like very particular about like what shoes they wear that like look good, but I wouldn't say like any divas.
Nice. Good recruiting then. We don't want divas.
Oh yeah.
We like that.